Experiments in Colorado. To develop these inventions further, I went to Colorado where I continued my investigations along these and other lines, one of which in particular I now consider of even greater importance than the transmission of power without wires. I constructed a laboratory in the neighborhood of Pike's Peak. The conditions in the pure air of the Colorado mountains proved extremely favorable for my experiments, and the results were most gratifying to me. I found that I could not only accomplish more work, physically and mentally, than I could in New York, but that electrical effects and changes were more readily and distinctly perceived. A few years ago it was virtually impossible to produce electrical sparks 20 or 30 foot long, but I produced some more than 100 feet in length, and this without difficulty. The rates of electrical movement involved in strong induction apparatus had measured but a few hundred horsepower, and I produced electrical movements of rates of 110,000 horsepower. Prior to this, only insignificant electrical pressures were obtained, while I have reached 50 million volts. The accompanying illustrations, with their descriptive titles, taken from an article I wrote for the Century magazine, the problem of increasing human energy may serve to convey an idea of the results I obtained in the directions indicated. Many persons in my own profession have wondered at them and have asked what I am trying to do. But the time is not far away now when the practical results of my labors will be placed before the world and their influence felt everywhere. One of the immediate consequences will be the transmission of messages without wires, over sea or land, to an immense distance. I have already demonstrated, by crucial tests, the practicability of signaling by my system from one to any other point of the globe, no matter how remote, and I shall soon convert the disbelievers. I have every reason for congratulating myself that throughout these experiments, many of which were exceedingly delicate and hazardous, neither myself nor any of my assistants received any injury. When working with these powerful electrical oscillations, the most extraordinary phenomena take place at times. Owing to some interference of the oscillations, veritable balls of fire are apt to leap out to a great distance, and if anyone were within or near their paths, he would be instantly destroyed. A machine such as I have used could easily kill, in an instant, 300,000 persons. I observed that the strain upon my assistants was telling, and some of them could not endure the extreme tension of the nerves. But these perils are now entirely overcome, and the operation of such apparatus, however powerful, involves no risk whatever. As I was improving my machines for the production of intense electrical actions, I was also perfecting the means for observing feeble effects. One of the most interesting results, and also one of great practical importance, was the development of certain contrivances for indicating at a distance of many hundred miles an approaching storm, its direction, speed and distance traveled. These appliances are likely to be valuable in future meteorological observations and surveying, and will lend themselves particularly to many naval uses. It was in carrying on this work that for the first time I discovered those mysterious effects which have elicited such unusual interest. I had perfected the apparatus referred to so far that from my laboratory in the Colorado mountains I could feel the pulse of the globe, as it were, noting every electrical change that occurred within a radius of 1,100 miles.